What up, everybody? I'm Dave Miranda, and this is episode 81 of Just Give Me 5. I hope you guys are doing great, continue to be amazing. We got a really awesome show lined up for you today. But if you guys caught episode 80, you saw we had none other than the one and only Bruce Kelly. And let me tell you, that one took me back to my childhood. You know what I mean? Like I said before, I discovered Bruce in like 1991, him and Maggie Brock on Y95, making the transition to Power 92 and just creating so much history in the Valley with radio and everything, all the activities and just everything they were doing was just so awesome. And to have them on this platform, to have them on the show, doesn't get no better than that. So shout out to you, Bruce. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. And make sure you guys watch episode 80. All right? But today's guest is someone who is referred to as the godfather of hip-hop radio. We're going to talk about his early days in radio. We're also going to talk about the hip-hop show he started on 1580 KDAY. We're going to talk about him working with Eazy E on the Platinum Hit Radio, some memorable moments, and so much more. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I present to you Greg Mack.
Hi, I'm Greg Mack, and all I'm saying is just give me 5. I knew I wanted to be in radio probably before I knew it. And there's an explanation behind there. Growing up as a kid, most kids sit there and listen to the radio and they're singing along or dancing along. I was actually imitating the DJs. That was my thing. I would sit there and listen to, it was a particular DJ in Dallas, Dwayne Dancer was his name. I've told him the story that I would sit there and listen to him and I would imitate him. I never knew that meant I wanted to be a DJ, right. But that's where it headed. My first time in the field of radio was as an intern. Our high school had a special program where you could go and intern at a place of business and you didn't have to go to school. You had to have at least a B average, which is about where I was. Yeah. And they didn't have any doctors or lawyers' offices available, which is where I wanted to be. They said, all we have left is a radio station, which I knew nothing about. Right. And as God would have it, I go in there and apply, which you had to do for, any kind of job. And I got the job on the first day. Didn't know that they had to have a black person. You had affirmative action going on. Oh boy. And so it kind of worked out. And I got in there and fell in love with it. In August of 1983, I had a meeting with the program director, Jack Patterson, and the general manager, Ed Kirby, of 1580 KDAY. And out of the 5 black stations that were in the market at that time, we were at the bottom, number 5. And they were saying, you had a lot of success in Houston at Magic 102. Mm-hmm. You got any ideas? And I said, yeah. Although I didn't at the time. Right. But I said, give me 24 hours. Because I'm one of those kind of people that can kind of get off in the hood and open the windows and listen to what people are jamming to or go to a club or, right. I feed off of the people. Mm-hmm. And the one thing I noticed, because I was living in the heart of South Central LA, one of the toughest areas of LA at that time, and all I had to do was open my window. And all you heard was hip hop. Right. You heard Curtis Blow, you heard Run DMC, you heard anything Sugar Hill. Yeah. I'm like, now wait a minute. Radio at that time was playing maybe 1, maybe 2 rap songs, mm-hmm. because the business kind of looked at it as novelty music. Right. They kind of put it in the category of disco duck. And they didn't take it seriously. Mm-hmm. And I said, this kind of has legs. So I go back the next day and I said, okay, this is what I want to do. Right. I want to start playing some rap music. Not just 1 or 2 at night, but all the time. And they were like, oh, I don't know. Yeah. It was like they looked at each other like, is he crazy? Right. I said, well, let me think about it. So that afternoon, Ed Kirby, who was our general manager, we kind of got to know that if you want to get an okay from Ed, catch him after lunch after he's had a few cocktails.
Right.
He never says no.
Yeah.
The next morning, he may say, I didn't say that, but he will answer you that afternoon. And he said, yeah, let's try it. What the hell?
Yeah.
And I said, cool. And Jack said, but, and so they kind of had me under scrutiny when I first started. One of the things about Los Angeles at that time was that the hottest DJ group, promoters, period, was Uncle Jam's Army. They were already well established when I got here. I didn't know who the hell Uncle Jam's Army was,
Yeah.
but my sister said, oh, you got to go to Uncle Jam's Army show. And so I said, well, let's go see what it is, because that was my thing. I wanted to be out in the streets and see what was happening.
Sure.
So when I went in there and saw over 10,000 kids dancing to just DJs, I was just blown away. I mean, seeing Egyptian Lover up there doing his thing.
Right.
You had Bobcat. You had, Battle Cat. The list was just, some of the best DJs in the world. And so I said, that's it. I need to tie in with these guys, and we need to do something at 1580 KDAY with these guys. And so I was able to track down Roger Clayton of Uncle Jam's Army. And I said, Roger, my name's Greg Mack. I still had a Texas accent, so everybody was kind of laughing at me.
Yeah.
I got these ideas, I'm running the music for 1580 KDAY, and we need to tie in, and, we could do some stuff together. And he just started laughing and looked around, behind him and said, does it look like I motherfucking need radio? And so
Right.
everybody fell out, and I'm like, I guess he's right, but I was pissed,
Right.
I've never seen roadblocks. I see hurdles. I said, okay, how am I going to jump this one?
Right.
And so every week I always had music meetings, and all of the record labels would be allowed to come in and meet with me and pitch me their music and blah, blah, blah. One of the people that came in I was talking to was a guy named Lonzo Williams, who at that time was doing a club called Dudos, and he had a record from this new group, World Class Wrecking Crew, and he presented it to me, and I was telling him what was going on. I said, I got this idea. I want to do this thing called the Traffic Jam. Now, mind you, I should have copyrighted that because now everybody does a traffic jam. But that was me. That was me that started it. And so I got this idea, and so I told him, and he's, you can use my DJs. And so I'm like, well, are they any good? He says, well, I'll bring them down and introduce you. So the next day he brings them down, and he says, oh, this is Dr. Dre, and this is DJ Yella, and they're pretty good. And so they brought me their little tape, and I listened to it, and I was like, oh my God, I've never in my life heard anything like that, even to this day. It wasn't just a mix, it was a multi-layered song that had, he would actually mix a song, and then he'd layer it about 8 times with other songs. Wow. So when you're listening to it, it's just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, that sounds great, guys. And so Alonzo and I made a deal in return because, the radio station, 1580 KDAY, wasn't going to pay for it.
Yeah.
But they did allow me to mention his club that he was doing in return for the free mixes.
Okay.
That lasted for just a few months, and then the guys got real busy. They started selling a lot of their mixes to a swap meet called the Rhodium, which if you wanted hip-hop, that was where you went.
Right.
You also went to all the little mom-and-pop record stores, because at that time, Warehouse wouldn't carry records, Tower Records wouldn't carry hip-hop.
Right.
None of the major record stores would carry rap music. And so we opened up a whole big bank for all of these little local people, because if you wanted to get the music that we played, you had to go to these mom and pop stores.
Right.
You have to understand, at that time, I was getting a lot of face wins. Politicians didn't like me. The record stores, the record labels were threatening to break my legs and kill me for playing it. I was just getting hell from everywhere. other black radio stations, why are you playing that stuff? It's so degrading to black people and blah, blah, blah. You know, nobody supported me on it. But I felt like, you know what? The public likes it. Yeah. And within 90 days, we went from 5th place to 2, just 90 days.
Wow.
Just like that. And I said, there's something happening here.
Yeah.
But I didn't stop there. I started going out and getting to know Los Angeles a little bit better. I went to the gay clubs to figure out what they were into. I went to the Hispanic clubs. And the Hispanic clubs was another change that is such a misconception about what 1580 KDAY was about. I broke Expose, Cover Girls, Trinier, Debbie Dab, Lisa.
Yeah.
These are people that were happening at the clubs but weren't getting any airplay either. I said, you know, if I'm going to succeed in Los Angeles, I need the Hispanic crowd.
Right.
And I got it.
Yeah.
Ever since the 80s, the majority of my support has always come from Hispanics.
Right.
You wouldn't think that. And so people are so caught up into thinking that we were just a rap station. No, we played a lot of freestyle.
Yeah.
We played a lot of R&B. We played whatever people were into. I think all races, of course, but the Hispanic people have been there with me from day one. You know, Eazy E's song Radio just, it was almost like my whole life during the 80s. You know, people always say, did you know that you were creating history or making history? I said, no. I think that if we would have stopped to think that way, we probably wouldn't have made history. Yeah. We were just having fun. The way the radio song came about is I was, you know, at the radio station, and Dre called me up and said, hey, man, me and Ren are working on this song, and we want you to come and just do a little cameo on it. And I said, oh, okay, cool. Give me a few minutes. Probably less than an hour. I was at the studio. I said, what do you need me to do, Dre? And so he let me hear the song. I said, okay, well, you want to write it out, what you want me to say, or what do you want? He said, nah, man, just pretend you're on the radio. Just do you.
Yeah.
I said, okay. I said, well, I'll record it, which I did. Yeah. And then afterwards, I said, okay, well, tell me what you want changed, blah, blah, blah. And Dre said, we ain't changing anything.
Yeah.
Just leave it like that. I said, you sure? I said, yeah. I said, okay, cool. I broke out. Yeah. I had no idea that it would go triple platinum. And I did it just out of friendship. I didn't make one penny on a triple platinum record. Wow. And, I was real proud of that record. I wish we'd have did a video of it. Eazy, we had discussed many a time when he goes on tour for me to do my part, but we just never got around to it. We were just so busy. Eazy E, I think, quiet as kept, is probably one of the nicest people ever in rap music. And he wasn't one of those people that did things and then go brag about it and boast about it. Most time he did things, people don't know that he used to take the kids in the hood, rent buses and take them to Magic Mountain for the day, or Disneyland for the day, or Universal Studios for the day, or take them and buy them toys and buy them clothes and shoes and just spoil them for a day. He never told people about that. He didn't do press releases. And he was just that kind of guy. To his detriment, though, he would sign about 100 groups. So you had about 100 groups talking about, I'm on Ruthless, because Eazy didn't like to say no. Yeah. But, they'd be on hold for years, which he didn't understand would cause bad feelings. But Eazy was one of the best, I swear to God. Three of the most memorable moments of my career were probably not what you think. It was not hip-hop. It was actually Barry White, the singer Barry White, when I first got here. And I remember meeting him and Ray Parker Jr. Ray was opening up a new recording studio called Amer Ray Khan. And so I was talking to them. Somebody had introduced me to them, and they just kept laughing, and I said, what's going on? And Barry said, Man, I love your voice, man.
It's
Cause
coming
I,
from him, you know.
cause I still talk kind of like that, you know. And I was like, "Hey, y'all," and he uh, he just said, "Man, you're gonna do things here." He said, "Here's two things I want to tell you." He said, "One, I want you to control the city. Don't let the city control you. Control your money. Don't let your money control you. And as long as you remember those two things, you're gonna be all right." I remember that because Barry and I created a friendship from then, and we would see each other from time to time and talk from time to time. And he was a very, he was telling me about his gang life because he was a gang member, and so he was educating me on what, don't wear this color on that side, don't wear this color on that side, stay neutral. I mean, he was educating me on the streets. So that was a very important story to me. The second thing would also includes Barry White when me, Barry, and a singer named Isaac Hayes were sitting backstage at a concert playing cards, and we were just listening to them talk. It was like me and the guys, regular guys, you know how you're bagging on folks and just talking, shit. And that was a highlight of my career, the second part. And the third part, I think seeing the development of where hip hop went. I didn't, I remember when we used to be so happy to see the rappers get on TV, some of the people that I had helped launch, Queen Latifah, LL Cool J, Will Smith. I mean, I could go down the list of all of the people that we launched. And so to see that happening, it was just like, wow, this is pretty cool. I'm so proud of all of them. And so those were probably the three most special moments. I can't name any one in particular, but the Barry White is pretty close to there. I think it feels great to know that you're still loved. I appreciate the fact when people say legend and GOAT and just understand that I don't really want to be a legend because all of the legends I know are dead, and I'm not trying to go down there and see them yet or up there or wherever they're at. But I kind of get a kick out of it when people do that, and I get a kick out of the reaction of certain people when you meet them and they've followed your whole career, and it's such a special feeling. And I don't know that I could ever thank people enough for the support they've given me over the years, and to hear the ladies say, "Oh, I love your voice, I love your voice." I hate my voice. I hate it. I've never liked it. And what's ironic about that is so many major DJs that I know, we talk about that because they can't stand the way they sound either. I don't know what that is, but as long as you like it, I like it. And as long as you like the music that I support. And here's something you should have asked me that I'm going to bring up anyway, because people always ask me, what do you think about the new hip hop? I like it, but let me tell you why I like it. I like it because it is a new generation. I remember when I started listening to the Isley Brothers and the OJs, and my mother used to say, "That ain't real music. Put that Aretha back on. Put that Al Green on. Don't be listening to that." And I'm sitting here looking at it the way the kids are looking at hip hop now, and I'm like, I don't want to be that. I want to support them because that's what's uplifting them. I'm not exactly crazy about the sound, but I do try and understand. I do try and get into it. And these kids are making way more money than we ever imagined would be made when we were doing what we were doing. And so I really would like to get to know some of them, and just kind of vibe with them. I'm not trying to get shot with y'all, okay? But we can hang out. But I never put any kind of music down. If you're feeling it, you vibing it, you know what, I like it too. People would be shocked to know that my favorite music to dance to is country and western, and also banda. I love to dance to Hispanic music.
Yeah.
And people say, well, why? You know, and I'm like, well, because I have no rhythm, and I don't need any rhythm to dance to country and western and banda.
Right.
And so if you see me doing that, I get down. But if you see me on the floor doing some R&B and hip hop, you're gonna be rolling. That's why I always get in the middle of the dance floor so nobody can see me. But no, I don't knock any of these kids. I'm so proud of them to be doing so well. And I love Cardi B. I'm sorry, I love me some Cardi B.
Yeah, man.
My shout outs first one would go out to DJ Shy, one of the best classics mixers in the game.
Yes, sir.
I've got to shout out Tony G, who started my Mac Attack Mixmasters at 1580 KDAY back in the day. I've got so many people to shout out. Where do I go next from there? I want to thank all of the radio stations that support me. Mega 104.3 in Phoenix, Magic 92.5 in San Diego, Jammin' 105.7 in Las Vegas, Old School 98.3 in Fresno, Old School 93.5 in Lancaster, Palmdale. I mean, all of the radio stations, and if I didn't mention you, it doesn't mean I don't love you. I love you more. I just know that these guys are running out of tape, so we're going to cut it right there. But a shout out to my home base, which is 94.7 The Wave in Los Angeles. You can hear me there. And a shout out to Precious Mays with She Mogul Media, my partner at a station called Precious 95.7 in Bakersfield. And look for that to blow up in your face. And we've got some exciting things coming up. So just a shout out to Glenn Rohrer, who allowed us to use his office to film this. Yeah. So give my man Rohrer Realty some love. And just thank you to all the supporters. Shout out to all of you. I love you.
And there you have it. Man, nothing but love and respect to you, Greg. Thank you so much for being a part of our show. I got to shout out my brother DJ Shy because he's the one who set this connection up for us. You know, I've known Shy for many years, had him on the show as well. And, you know, he works with Greg on his radio show. So I asked him, I said, do you think Greg would be down to, you know, to be interviewed? He goes, absolutely. Let me reach out to him. He did. He made it happen. Here it is. You know, so thank you so much, my brother. And, you know, I learned a lot from this interview. And like you said, Greg, save it for the book. You know what I mean? Save it for the book, you know. So really, truly appreciate you. And, you know, I just wish you nothing but continued success. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys are following him on social media. And shout out to my brother, Jimmy Nelson, on the camera. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend. All right. And if you see, I am in lovely California right now. Me and my brother Jimmy are out here filming, making things work. And you can see the water behind me. Coming from Arizona, this is definitely refreshing. So, you know, nothing but good times, man. But till next time, stay tuned, stay blessed, stay healthy, and just give me 5, y'all.
Everything you get, you got to work hard. I had to hustle hard, never give up, never give up.
Just give me 5. Great interview. I enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Man, hard questions though. Y'all trying to find out some stuff, huh? I'm not gonna give you everything. You have to wait for my book.
There we go. There we go.
Just give me 5 though. Just give me 5.
Greg Mack.